All right. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. It is 7:34. This is our August 18th meeting. We are called to order. Please rise and pledge the flag.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Matt, roll call, please.
Councilmember Shank.
Here.
Councilmember Hauk.
Here.
Vice President Gundrum.
Here.
President Al-Zayed.
Here.
Councilmember Nolan.
Here.
Councilmember Gamble.
Here.
Councilmember Cosenza.
Here.
Mayor Heil.
Here.
Thank you, Matt. Mr. Bello?
Madam President, thank you. We were in executive session from 6:45 to approximately 7:30 with regard to litigation.
Thank you. All right. First up here for council consideration, we have approval of our July 21st, 2026 meeting minutes. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All right. We have two motions. Do you have any questions or comments from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Thank you. Next up here for council consideration, we have use request for Elks Lodge 714 council chambers on September 10th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for the purposes of a Red Cross blood drive.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Motion from Ms. Cosenza. Do we have a motion from Ms. Nolan? Second from Ms. Nolan. Do you have any questions or comments from council or the public? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. Next up here, we have some awards from our police department, and I will turn it over to Chief. Thank you, Chief.
Great, thank you. If we could move over to the podium with the mayor, and then I'll ask officers Nick Bianchini, Noah Clemens, to please come up to the podium.
I did bring my sash if you need it. I was curious about that. I figure we handle it professionally. We can do a sash for later. Can we get to wear it? Well, if you become mayor somewhere else.
Good evening, everyone. Many thanks for the officers, family, and friends that have come here tonight. Because we have so many different items, I'm going to try to move this along, but per event. So there's a report number. It's an aggravated assault with a gun at 400 block of Grove Street on April 4th, 2025. The awardees are Officer Nicholas Bianchini, Officer Noah Clemens, Sergeant Paul McLaughlin, and Sergeant Bill Murphy. Bridgeport police responded to a 400 block of Grove Street for a reported disturbance involving a female screaming in the background. Officers later learned a 19-year-old female victim had sustained multiple gunshot wounds to her legs and was transported by private vehicle to Suburban Community Hospital. Officers secured the residence, identified and interviewed several juveniles, witnesses, and recovered 2 loaded firearms from the alley area of the property. Detectives processed the scene where evidence indicated blood had been cleaned prior to police arrival. Witnesses reported the victim was shot inside the residence during a gathering, and a male who was cited allegedly fled the scene immediately afterward. During the course of the extensive investigation, the individual was identified, and a total of 5 subjects were charged with violations of the Uniform Firearms Act, recklessly endangering another person, and obstruction of justice. So, Mayor, and so we congratulate all 3 of you, or 2 of you that are here. If you could please open up those. And if one of the guys over there, could you, Matt, you can take the pictures, we're good.
We're scooching. It's in my pocket, but.
Congrats, gentlemen. Good work. I wanted to wait until Officer Bianchini about took his seat to call him back up again. Nick, can you come back up, please? aggravated assault, the 300 block of West 5th Street on January 17, 2026. Bridgeport police responded to the area of 900 block of Green Street for reports of multiple individuals looking into parked vehicles with flashlights. Officers located a suspicious silver Buick LaCrosse leaving a nearby parking lot and conducted a traffic stop. During the investigation, the driver, later identified as Kenneth Cargill of Norristown, provided multiple false identities and displayed signs of intoxication and marijuana use. When officers attempted to remove him from the vehicle, Cargill reversed the vehicle, striking Officer Bianchini and fleeing the scene, initiating a police pursuit. During the pursuit, Cargill struck 6 parked cars before his vehicle became disabled on West 5th Street. Cargill and 2 passengers fled on foot. Following a foot pursuit and brief struggle, officers took Cargill into custody with assistance from multiple surrounding agencies. The 2 additional occupants were not located. Evidence, including identification cards, cash, and multiple cell phones, were recovered, and a search warrant was later executed on the vehicle as the investigation continued and ending in the recovery of a handgun. So, excellent work, Nick, along with other officers that aren't here, Detective Sergeant Bill Murphy. It's a difficult job, and we ask you to do sometimes an impossible thing, but you guys came to the right resolution, so we thank you. Officer John Sieber, can you come up? That's excellent. Not at all. This is a break. My pleasure. Burglary at 100 block of West Borough Line Road on August 8th, 2025. Police responded, so it's officers John Sieber, Sergeant Paul McLaughlin, and Sergeant Bill Murphy. Police responded into public storage for reported theft from a storage unit after the victim discovered the unit's locks had been cut and several items, including 2 ATVs and sentimental property, were allegedly missing. During the investigation, officers learned that the unit was leased under a false name and had been prolonged delinquent status due to late payments. Follow-up with public storage management determined the company had drilled and replaced the lock on July 24th as part of its delinquency procedures and documented the unit's contents, which included the ATVs and other personal belongings. It was later learned that an out-of-state vehicle theft ring had gained access to the storage area using fraudulent practices to get codes and so forth, to enter and stole vehicles, taking them to the state of Ohio. An extensive 5-month-long investigation, including license plate readers, cell phone technology, surveillance, and federal resources, concluded with an apprehension of Mr. Scott Sprague, not of Bridgeport, but of Lima, Ohio. Sprague was a known criminal in his region and involved several other similar related crimes, and law enforcement there was happy to help us. So a great work combining patrol and investigations, and John, thank you for what you did, and it's a great result for Bridgeport. If we could have Officer Stephen Bailey, Officer Nicholas Bianchini, please come up. This is for a burglary at the 1100 block at DeKalb Street on November 11th, 2025. Officers Stephen Bailey, Nicholas Bianchini, and Sergeant Bill Murphy were involved with this. Police responded to John Byrne painting for a reported burglary in progress after the business owner observed a masked male inside his office. Byrne confronted a suspect later identified as Sabri Nassim Perry, who fled the business carrying a black bag briefcase containing firearms, ammunition, and electronics. Byrne followed Perry while providing updates to 911 dispatch. Officers located Perry in the fenced rear lot of Armand Pools after he fled through nearby businesses along Borough Line Road. Perry was taken into custody without incident. He was found wearing a full face mask and in possession of burglary tools and additional items. Officers recovered 3 stolen handguns, ammunition, a laptop, company phones, and other stolen property belonging to Byrne. Further investigation revealed forced entry into the office, including damage to doors, locks, and glass. A screwdriver believed to have been used during the burglary was recovered on scene. Additional stolen items and property connected to Perry were recovered from the DeKalb SEPTA lot, and this individual was found to be involved in similar crimes in Upper Merion. He having just committed a burglary just down the block from Upper Merion, so Upper Merion was able to solve it because of some of the hard work of the officers here today, Stephen Bailey, Nick Bianchini, and Sergeant Murphy. Excellent work again. Our guys were quickly there, chased the guy down. It sounds easy when you talk about that, about how much cooperation the guy gives, but I watched the body camera and the guy was trying to run for a little while. So thank you for your diligent work and keeping Bridgeport safe. And a subsequent award for Officer Bailey will be that meal at Franzone's so that you could tank up. All right. Officer Mark Stillwagon, can you come up, please? This is for assisting, excuse me. Okay. This is for the thwarting of an attempted suicide by knife on West 2nd Street, December 31st, 2025. Police responded for a report of a suicidal pregnant female holding a knife to her stomach. Upon arrival with assisting Upper Merion officers, the subject was located seated on the kitchen floor holding a large knife and visibly upset. The subject eventually complied with commands to place the knife down, allowing the officers to secure it. The subject had minor cuts to her hands and agreed to be evaluated by EMS. She was transported by Plymouth Ambulance to Einstein Hospital for treatment evaluation. Officer Stillwagon, your calm and engaging manner ensured a safer resolution to this incident. Congratulations. Officer Stephen Bailey and Officer Matthew Stead, please come up. This is stemming from an aggravated assault starting at 401 East 4th Street on January 17th, 2026. Police responded to Reach Climbing and Fitness Center for a report of a banned individual refusing to leave the property. Officers identified the individual as Arlene Cameron, who was known to have active warrants from Upper Merion Township. As officers attempted to take Cameron into custody in the parking lot, she refused commands to exit her vehicle, reversed into a marked patrol vehicle, and drove toward an officer, nearly striking him before fleeing. Officers initiated a pursuit through Bridgeport and neighboring jurisdictions with other units from other jurisdictions. During multiple attempts to stop her, Cameron repeatedly rammed police cars and continued to flee. The pursuit involved assistance from Upper Merion, West Norton, East Norton, and Lower Merion Township Police Departments. Cameron drove recklessly into oncoming traffic and ultimately fled into the Lankenau Medical Center's parking garage after Stop 6 disabled her vehicle. Inside the garage, Cameron struck multiple civilian vehicles and damaged a parking gate while attempting to escape. Officers surrounded the vehicle, broke the driver's side window, and forcibly removed Cameron after she continued resisting commands. Taser deployment was utilized by assisting officers before Cameron was taken into custody. One officer was injured during this incident. It's a difficult job. It's some days it can be near impossible, and this is one of those days. This ended with relatively minor injuries. The officer was injured more than the person trying to be taken into custody, but it had to happen because of the circumstances. So I'd like to thank Officers Bailey and Matt Stead for their performance beyond the normal duty. Thank you for keeping us safe. Officer Michael D'Annunzio, can you please come up? This is a great story. They all are. So this incident was an assist to another police department that involving the arrest of Andrew Williams at Hemlock Road, West Norton Township on July 23rd, 2026. The awardees are for accommodation of merit, Officer Michael D'Annunzio and Sergeant Bill Murphy for a commendatory letter. On that date, Bridgeport officers responded to an assist officer called by West Norton PD. The defendant, Adam Williams, was involved in a domestic assault on a female victim near the unit block of West Stanbridge Street. The actor fled on foot, creating a search involving over 10 law enforcement officers in a brief period of time. Sergeant Murphy, hearing of the flight, directed officers and assisted with the victim on scene, helping West Norton Police Department. During the search, Officer D'Annunzio, while driving to the scene, saw the active foot pursuit. And after he parked, he passed 2 police officers on the run, hurdled 3 fences like it was a steeplechase. I'm used to seeing that at Devon Horse Show when I worked at Tredyffrin, but not this way. So you conducted that pursuit, jumped the 3 fences, and gaining surrender of the subject. The actions of D'Annunzio ensured the arrest of Williams, and Murphy's heads-up police work helped ensure that Williams was able to be prosecuted for his crimes. So for your heads-up police work, for your level of fitness, and for the excellent result and capture of Mr. Williams, we thank you today. Can Officer Noah Clemens please come up? The Officer of the Year, we had candidates for Officer of the Year. This year's officer candidate, Officer Noah Clemens of Conshohocken, is a 3.5-year veteran of BPD, starting part-time on January 10th, 2023, and hired full-time on June 11, 2025. Clemens, if you may remember, was previously awarded the Commendation of Heroism for his participation in the saving of lives with Officer Danbrowski during the Bridgeport Suites fire in March of 2025. Noah garnered 32 arrests in 2025, was the primary officer for handling 1,396 calls, and the secondary officer for 365 calls, with 333 traffic stops. Noah was recently appointed to the Municipal Drug Task Force, has received certifications in FSST, which standardized field sobriety testing for DUI work, and ARIDE, and he is seeking certification as a DRE, which is a drug recognition expert. Noah is present with his fiancée, Kate, friends, family, and so I congratulate Officer Noah Clemens for this year's Officer of the Year. This is for years of service. Usually in 5-year increments, there could be something that would be for uniform, et cetera. And I noticed that some of these don't fall in line specifically with the 5, 10, whatever years, but they might have been a little bit late, but they're still worthy of the attention. Officer John McKay, Officer John Sieber, Officer Steve Bailey, please come up. John? John? No. For years of service. Officer John has 11 here, part-time, so over the 10 years. Officer John Sieber, 11, which is over the 10-year marker. Officer Stephen Bailey is 12, over the 10-year. Sergeant Murphy is 17, which is over the 15-year marker. And Sergeant McLaughlin had over 25 years of service. So much has to be said, because to do this job, you have to show up. So much of life is about showing up, being prepared. So if something bad happens today, you're prepared to deal with it on behalf of the citizens of Bridgeport. And each and every one of you, whether long, 11, 12, and more years to do this job here, both part-time and full-time, we thank you, and thank you on behalf of the citizens of Bridgeport. That's it. Mayor, if you have some comments?
And then we can do a group picture in the hallway.
Oh, you know what?
Chief, we definitely need to do a family picture because the cute princess in the front needs to be the star of the show.
Oh, absolutely. We can do that. And I'm sorry, there's one more thing. If we can have Officer Noah Clemens. That's for Noah. Officer Noah Clemens.
That makes it easy.
It does. And that's all that's here for today. So this goes back to activities and being busy. So Officer Clemens had the most patrol-related arrests, the high traffic arrests, and the high calls. The overall person for the most arrests for the police department was Bill Murphy, excuse me. You can call him Bill Murray, though. So congratulations for all your hard work. Sometimes it's just working a little bit harder, trying a little bit more, and keeping your eyes open. So you're taking people off the road, DUI enforcement, drugs. I smile when I read some of the reports, and these people just think that they were going to get away with it, and they didn't. So it's because of work like that. So congratulations. So, is there anything you want to do?
Yeah, well, let's do a group picture in a minute.
Okay.
But, well, since the officers are still here, and you won't be here when I do my mayor's report, I want to thank you on behalf of the Office of the Mayor. As you can hear, our officers, most days, hopefully, are not too exciting, but they have to be prepared for the wildest, weirdest, maybe scariest situations, and they handle it with calm. I saw this personally just last week with Officer Clemens and Officer Stillwagon on my street at 5:30 in the morning when there was a drunk driving incident. Someone going 50 miles an hour. They could have gotten home if they had just driven safely. And Officer Clemens handled it with more calm than I could have, or anyone else here could have. And you never know in a situation like that if someone is dangerous, if they're a threat in some other way, and they handled it with humanity, looking out for the victim, everyone there as well. You make us proud as residents of Bridgeport, and I'm so grateful for your service. And I think we're the best team of officers that we could have anywhere in the county. And I say thank you for all that you do.
So we'll get a real quick picture.
Yeah, let's do it in the
Okay.
hallway so
Sure.
they can do the.
Absolutely.
They can keep going with the.
Guys, if we can meet out there so we can get a picture.
Congratulations, everyone. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for coming out.
Was anybody counting? Who got the most?
No, it definitely took the cake.
No, got the most.
All right, so not much for my update. I hope everyone's having a wonderful summer. I know it's coming to an end, so excited for school to start up, so I hope everyone is gearing up for that. And with that being said, I wanted to personally thank Heather and Diane for all their efforts in pulling together a really great event for our back-to-school drive on August 22nd from 12 to 4. We have a big block party. The Elks Lodge has helped us with providing some activities. We have the Rib House that's also donating some food, and just lots of people organizing for us to have a really fun time. Music, game, backpacks, haircuts for the kids. So whether or not you have kids, feel free to come through. It's going to be a fun time to just meet community and chat with neighbors. So just wanted to invite everyone to that. I'm excited to be there as well this Saturday, and I hope to see you there. All right, first up here for council consideration, we have our curb cut request, 103 West 8th Street. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any questions or comments from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Thank you. Next up for council consideration, we have enforcement consideration for zoning violation 424 Bush Street.
Madam President, may I make a suggestion on this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe we vote to table this evening and direct our professionals and the solicitor to ask the parties to come to a resolution, see what they can do.
All right, do we
No.
have a second on that thought?
I'll second that.
All right, are there any comments or questions on tabling? All those in favor on tabling?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, the motion is tabled. Thank you. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
All right, next up for council consideration, we have our traffic and parking subcommittee recommendation to disabled parking application for 310 Holstein Street.
I'll make the motion.
If I may, please.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Members of council, in your packets, there is a memorandum from me on behalf of the Traffic and Parking Subcommittee. We have two disabled parking application requests this evening. The first one here at 310 Holstein Street. The recommendation from the TPS, the Traffic and Parking Subcommittee, is to deny this application. There are several evaluative criteria that are used when evaluating each of these applications, so that it's done so on as even a playing field as possible each time. And the traffic and safety officer, a traffic and safety officer, representative from the police department, goes out and personally performs a review for each of these applications. During this review, it was determined that the applicant in question already has dedicated off-street parking on their property, and that has historically been grounds to automatically deny a request of this nature. Logic being, if the applicant already has dedicated off-street parking on their property, they are generally in a better situation than, venture a guess and say 75% of our homeowners that do not have driveways or parking spaces.
Thank
Can I
you.
ask a question? Did we assess whether the front or rear of the property in which those dedicated spaces are is more feasibly adapted to accessibility, whether it's in the front near where the request is being made, or if it's in the rear? I don't know if that was assessed at all in that.
That generally is not a is not a determining factor. Again, if the applicant has off-street parking on their property, they are in a better situation than the majority of our property owners are in terms of again, if they already have off-street parking and we would then subsequently remove another off-street parking space and cordon it off to a particular subsect of the community that when parking is already at a dearth and a premium in the borough.
Was there a motion to approve or deny?
We were making a motion about the application. Though we're going with the recommendation, I might make the motion to go with the recommendation of the officer to deny.
Perfect. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Do you have any questions or comments from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, the motion to deny moves. Thank you. All right, next up here for council consideration, we have traffic and parking subcommittee recommendation, disabled parking application, 46 Rambo Street. Mr. Truman?
Members of council, in this case, the traffic safety officer, performed the same evaluation on this request. This applicant does not possess off-street parking pre-existing. The block in question is very densely parked and also has significant parking restrictions in general due to its location and proximity to a nearby industrial use that restricts parking on that block due to multiple driveway aprons, loading zones, so on and so forth. So the traffic safety officer's recommendation was to approve this one, and then subsequently the traffic and parking subcommittee's recommendation is to uphold that position and recommends approving this application to council.
All right, do we have a motion to approve or deny?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Motion from Ms. Nolan, do you have a second?
Second it?
All right, second from Ms. Gamble. Do you have any questions or comments from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, the motion to approve carries. Thank you. Next up for council consideration, we have authorization to remit payment to BNY Mellon TIF pledged borough increments for 2025 relating to the River Point development for $144,802.92. Do we have a motion, or Mr. Truman, did you have any clarifying points that you'd like to discuss?
Members of council, members of the audience, this payment is part and parcel to a county-wide agreement, a TIF borrowing for the River Point property that was developed and administered by the County Redevelopment Authority. The two taxing bodies that are part of this agreement are Montgomery County and the Borough of Bridgeport, and this payment represents our representative share of the property tax revenues stemming from the eligible TIF district, which in this case are all the parcels that comprise River Point, and this is an annual payment.
Just to clarify, because I feel like I would want to know if I lived in the area, and I see some members in the audience that are from the development. So I'd like Mr. Truman to correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, but my understanding is that there were items that benefited the borough and the county and in general that were needed to get taken care of that the TIF helped fund, like the load-bearing wall as an example. So some structural things that without those items getting taken care of, we wouldn't even have the ability to discuss having houses or any kind of infrastructure on there. So there was money that was needed to help the developer bring that space into a space where we can actually build on it. So these funds went towards that. As a result, 50% of the tax that is generated from that area goes back to the TIF to pay it back. So there's no real negative impact on the community in that way. So people that are from Bridgeport, this is not relating to your tax dollars. It's only to the new development's tax dollars. And it's because there's a benefit there from that perspective, and I'm sure Mr. Truman has a better way of describing that, but I feel like we should kind of break it down a little bit more so that it's clear where this money's coming from, who it's affecting, and what it was generally spent on. I know that we don't know the exact details, but some understanding there.
One of the, Council President, one of the requirements when engaging in a TIF is the money that is borrowed against. So in other words, a loan is taken out and is paid off over a term of years. In this case, it's a 20-year term, is paid off over those succeeding years. The debt service, one of the requisites is the money that is borrowed against the future tax revenues goes towards improvements that are deemed to be public improvements. So yes, that is correct.
Wonderful. Thank you. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion. Yep.
Motion from Ms. Gamble. Do we have a second from someone?
I'll second.
All right, we have a second. Do you have any questions or comments from council or the public?
I have a question. Do we expect year on year that to be roughly the number, that 144? Or I guess what I'm saying is that
We do not.
we do not.
This is, because this is money collected in calendar year, being collected in '26, but it is tax collections from year 2025. 2025, a large majority of that development was still under construction, and even if the houses were finalized, fully built, they were not sold and or recorded with the county at that point. So once the use and occupancy permit is issued and once the property is recorded with the county, that subsequently triggers their addition to the tax roll, their reassessment from what their pre-improvement assessed value was, i.e. the value of a vacant lot, to what is their post-assessment value or post-construction assessed value. In other words, the assessed value of a vacant parcel could be $7,000 or $10,000 or $20,000. Once that house is built, the occupancy permit is issued, and it is then subsequently recorded with the county recorder of deeds. Then the county reassesses it and increases it to whatever the value is, $110,000, $120,000, $150,000. When that occurs, tax bills are then issued on that new amount. And since so much of the development was still under construction in 2025, no, this is just a fraction of what we would ultimately be paying back. Our preliminary figures on the 350 townhomes alone should bring us about $530,000 to $540,000 a year. So I would say beginning in 2027, since all of the homes have been completed and occupied by February or March of this year, we should be paying somewhere closer to $265,000 per year. And that does not take into consideration the other two major portions of the development that also still need to be constructed, the 250-unit apartment building and the 7,000 square foot commercial space with a dozen condominiums up top on the smaller parcel there at the corner of Front and Depot. Both of those parcels are still at that pre-improvement assessed level, are not being collected against, and we can't really give a guaranteed final assessed value of what they're going to be once constructed. So I hope that answers your question a little better.
It did, and more. And now I have a follow-up, and I apologize for dragging out the question further. The 20 years on the TIF, and I know we did this a couple years ago, I just forget the detail. The 20 years on the TIF, does that 20 years start ticking? Did that happen when the ink dried on the TIF, or does that happen when the parcel is reassessed after construction?
This payment, if folks recall, we made a payment last year It was a very small payment. It was about $25,800 or $25,900. That was year one of the debt service. This is year two of the debt service. So we have 18 more to go.
So I guess what I'm getting at is for the apartment building, if and when that gets built 3 years from now, we're already 5 years into the TIF. That clock, that 20 years doesn't, the 20-year clock doesn't start ticking on the apartment building when they complete construction of the apartment building. It started 3 years ago, like the rest of the project. Do I have that right?
That is correct. So as I understand it, that is where, and some of the folks who served on council in 2024 might recall the NID being adopted in addition to the TIF. TIF is tax incremented financing. NID is neighborhood improvement district. So in essence, when the TIF borrowing was, when the borrowing loans were originated or drafted, the NID allows for a special assessment to be rendered against the property owners in the River Point district to effectively make up whatever the delta is between realized tax revenues versus what is due in debt service. Additionally, during the originating loans of the TIF agreement, I believe the developer had to set aside a pot of money specifically for the parcels that they have destiny and control over, the apartment complex and the parcel there at Front Depot, to bulwark that delta of the money that's missing there from what's due for overall annual debt service versus what's actually being collected.
Thank you.
But either way, this loan does not count against the borough's debt ceiling. It does not. If for some ungodly reason there were to be a default on this loan, the borough would not be held liable, and it does not negatively impact our bond rating.
Thank you. And my favorite part was bulwark that delta. I'm going to use that.
Matt, could you remind me if we had motions on the table? I don't have it written down.
There was a motion from Councilmember Gamble and a motion from Councilmember Nolan.
All right, any additional comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Thank you. Next up for council consideration, we have approval of the bills and salaries for August 2026. Do we have a motion?
Make the motion to pay the people?
I'll second that up.
All right, motion from Ms. Nolan, second Ms. Houck. Do you have any questions or comments from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have unfinished business. Are there any items of unfinished business anyone would like to discuss? All right, seeing there is none, we can move on to committee reports. Are there any committee reports this evening?
Yeah, I'll just go real quick. Last night, the Finance Committee met. That was myself, Councilmember Gamble, and Council President Alzaid, as well as Borough Manager Truman. We just discussed the pension obligation for 2027. We should be getting that valuation numbers soon, and council will be having that, I believe, in the September meeting. I think we will get that final number from everything, but so far our obligation's looking good for next year. And then we also had quickly discussed the previously discussed TIF service, and that is it for finance.
Thank you, Ms. Nolan. Any additional committee reports?
I'd like to share, last night, the Small Business Economic Development Committee met. Wendy, Ben, Emilio, myself, Saba, and Keith met to review. We reviewed a proposal from Front Seat Films, which is an organization here in Bridgeport looking to provide some assistance to the borough in marketing endeavors, and so we reviewed that last night. Then we reviewed a list of businesses within the borough and discussed potential interested parties and interested avenues for recruitment of the targeted business areas and business types, and then discussed our September meeting agenda and intent to host the business community that currently exists in Bridgeport at a future date in September, hopefully, and hope the business community is on the lookout for that coordination. That is all.
Thank you. Are there any additional committee reports? All right, we can move on to the mayor's report. Mayor?
Thank you, President El-Zayed. I first want to thank everyone who joined us for Bridgeport's National Night Out last week. Thank you to Officer Matt Stead for leading the organizing for the event, to many council members who could be there, as well as State Representative Tim Briggs and some county row officers. We connected people with valuable county and local services, enjoyed the bike giveaways thanks to Janeway Towing, and had fun for the whole family. I also had a good conversation with Chase from Paw Patrol, but he's not available for future work with the borough, so we'll have to keep testing. As part of National Night Out, I spoke with Montgomery County Coroner Dr. Janine Darby. We talked about mental health and how to assist families impacted by suicide, which we heard about with the accommodations today. September is National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, which is very personal to me, and I will be highlighting information for families, working with Dr. Darby's office to help residents through our police department as well. I mentioned this earlier, but I want to personally thank Officer Clemens and Stillwagon for handling an accident in the early morning hours of August 13th right on my street. This is at 5:30 in the morning with a truck speeding and hit a neighbor's trailer. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, and the officers were on scene within minutes of calling, and I saw their professionalism and patience firsthand. While National Night Out was a great chance for residents to meet our police department, I have heard many residents don't know our officers well enough. We have a lot of new residents and new officers as well. And I've spoken with Chief Beretta about initiating a simple Say Hi program where I'm just encouraging our officers to take a second to say hello to residents while they're on patrol and welcome and say hi to officers as well. They want to know our neighbors better, and I'll continue to make sure they build those relationships. After speaking with the fire department and Steve Wanzik, we're tentatively planning a cool-down spray event with the fire department on Saturday, August 29th, depending on the weather. So please look for alerts on email and social media in the next couple days as we just make sure the weather's appropriate for that. School's starting in just a few days, thankfully, so I encourage residents to be careful with morning and afternoon driving with children walking to school or the bus stop. Our officers will be on alert at pickup and drop-off times as usual. Last night, I held a meeting to discuss Founders Day for 2027. We have great ideas for honorees, and our vision for the next 2 years is to really incorporate Founders Day and Bridgeport Historical Society into ongoing events throughout the year, including possibly connecting with council meetings next year, just to make things easier to where we have an audience already. If you're interested in joining our Bridgeport Founders Day Historical Society, please reach out to me by email or social media. I am excited to gather mayors from around the area for the Bridgeport Parade. We have a mayor's committee that's going to have, I think it'll be fun to bring them together, and so we're looking forward to that, and have some mayors from Montgomery and Chester County already committed. And September 10th, the Elks are hosting a blood drive here at Borough Hall from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. I encourage anyone who can donate blood then to join us, and I was there last year and hope to be there again this year. And that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Chief?
Good evening, Bridgeport. So this month, we go over July's statistics, 79% clearance rate by arrest, so that's excellent. Want to talk about the water rescue that occurred on July 29th with 2 children that were saved. Sergeant Murphy happened to be coming back across the street from Norristown on the DeKalb Street Bridge and saw the children that were already in peril. So I'm going to talk about that. So we're a river town, and you have to be cognizant of your ability. You have to be cognizant and understanding what the flow of the rivers are. And if you're a child, talk to your parents. before you go and think to go into the water. Always have a buddy if you're going to go, and you're going to go on or near the water, whether it's fishing, boating, or whatever. Whenever you have upstream rain, you're going to have higher rapid water flow, and it makes it more dangerous, maybe more than you think, because you think, okay, I watched people walk across there 2 days ago, and I should be able to walk across it now. And the answer is no, you might not be able to. So I just want to thank the Bridgeport Fire Department, the Upper Merion Fire Department, the Norristown Fire Department, and the Norton Fire Company for their quick response using some of the tools that were placed into the hands for emergency responders by council, those boats, and they were used. So thank you for all those people for all the work that they did and making sure that those kids made it out of the water safe. So please talk to your friends and neighbors about water safety. We're going to have the Bridgeport 5K coming up soon. I know it's not October yet. It's not even September, but just another event coming up. We have school starting, like the mayor talked about, so expect to see our police officers. We will have additional signage out with our officers and as well as with the crossing guards. We are keeping one part-time crossing guard, and it'll be the less part-time crossing guard. And we're still looking for at least one good part-time crossing guard candidate. I have spoken with Bridgeport Elementary School. But if anyone knows of somebody that might wish to have some contact in a positive way, you might work 2 hours a week as a fill-in. You might work more, but just having your availability keeps the police officers free to handle calls as well. So we do have 5 spots, so that's a lot of spots to cover every morning and every afternoon. Going back to signing up for Go Bridgeport, please see the website for Go Bridgeport, signing up for notifications. It's just another way to be kept in the loop if there's something going on in Bridgeport that deals with emergency services. So please take a moment and sign up for Go Bridgeport. Some of the training we have, lastly, we have that A-RIDE training for one officer. We have FTO training for another officer. For Stillwagon was just here. EVOC training for a couple officers. And combat combatant course for Officer D'Annunzio, who was just doing that last week. So good training to allow our officers to better do the job. That's all I have for you tonight.
Thank you, Chief. All right, move on to new business. Are there any items of new business that anyone would like to discuss? All right.
I wanted to, sorry, maybe it's more old business, but I did go take a look at the park progress up top of the hill, and it is progressing, and Keith, I think you said equipment should be landing at the end of September?
The last update that we've gotten is that it should be leaving the manufacturers, and how they can pinpoint it by a specific day, I'm not sure, but should be leaving the manufacturer on September 14th and getting into, let me rephrase, I did say the 22nd, getting to General Recreation, our contractor's warehouse on September 22nd. So they should be subsequently mobilizing shortly thereafter to begin construction.
That's exciting.
Yeah, thank you for the update. All right, we can move on to open forum and announcements. Our first item here is recognizing our June 2026 Employee of the Month, Michael Kenzie. Congratulations to him. Are there any other items for announcement this evening?
Just one briefly. I'd like to thank everybody who came out to the this past Saturday, August 15th, family movie night, Zootopia 2. We had a really good turnout for that. And would like to remind everybody of our next upcoming September movie night will be Saturday night, September 19th at sundown, which should be right around 8 p.m. And we will be showing the Minecraft movie. So everybody come on out. Thanks very much.
As much Minecraft stuff as I have, I've never watched the movie, so my son buys constantly. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Cassandra, do you want to give us a quick update on your take on Saturday?
Sure. I think that it's important to note that Second Street will be blocked off, but you can get through Green. I think everyone's best bet is probably to park somewhere up here, whether that's the parking lot on Mill or this lot at the municipal building. I'm gonna have two moon bounces, snow cones, popcorn, hot dogs, hamburgers, pork sandwiches that Kyle donated to the pork, and Melissa's gonna smoke it, so we know it's gonna be great. And then Saba and Diane have been working really hard to make sure that all of the kids are able to get school bags and school supplies, so come out and have fun. Oh, I bought a sprinkler today, and we can use Miss Pat's hose, so we're ready.
So exciting.
And it's 12 to 4, so.
Yeah, reach out to us if you have any questions, but we're excited to see everyone. All right, any additional announcements this evening?
Along with that, this is the Backpacks for Bears event, so we will have school supplies. We will have backpacks for middle and high school that were donated to Upper Marion Community Cupboard that they have given to us to give out.
It's about 80 of them.
Yeah, a good number. So K to 12, if you've got a child in Bridgeport that needs school supplies, come on down. We're going to have it for them. My car is stuffed.
Yeah, likewise. All right, well, thanks, everyone, for your announcements. Any additional ones? All right. Move on to public comment. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak this evening? All right, we can certainly entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
8:32, and we are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.